Good morning, ma'am, and hello, classmate. We, Group 6, presenting our video discussion about handling and preservation fruits and vegetables. Are you ready? So, let's start. Importance of different factors for handling and preservation fruits and vegetables. Objectives of handling and preservation operation. After harvest, the product's properties need to preserve cleanliness, appearance, freshness, absence of spot, unit weight, skin color, and etc. Of unity time of consumption. What are the objectives and importance of preservation? The primary objective of food preservation is to prevent food spoilage until it can be consumed. Garden offense produce too much food at one time. More than can be eaten before spoilage sets in. Preserving food also offers the opportunity to have wide variety of foods year-round. What are the three objectives of food preservation? There are three basic objectives for the food preservation. Number one, prevention of contaminated food from damaging agents. Number two, delay or prevention of growth of microorganisms in food. Number three, delay of enzymic spoilage, self-decomposition of the food by naturally wearing enzyme within it. Okay, number one, product need to be protected during post-harvest operation. Packaging, consignment, and distribution, the aim is to prevent development of organisms that could pose a threat to consumer health or after the commercial quality of products. This constraint is imposed on all products and the key for being competitive in markets and conforming to food safety requirements. So, what are the operations included in post-harvest? In agriculture, post-harvest handling is the stage of crop production immediately following harvest, indicating cooling, cleaning, sorting, and packing. The instant a crop is removed from the ground or separated from its parent plants, it begins to deteriorate. What factors are we considered during post-harvest? The management of temperature, ventilation, and relative humidity are the three most important factors that affect post-harvest quality and storage life. Horticultural produce recommended storage temperature are the relative humidity for cabbage, lettuce, carrots are 0 degrees Celsius to 2 degrees Celsius and as to 95 to 100% respectively. What is the importance of post-harvest management? Defining post-harvest management, the importance of post-harvest management has been established over the years. It strengthens the action chain that produces, transport, and process food, and all other related products that gives sustenance to the world population. Another question, how we can reduce the post-losses of fruits and vegetables? Packing materials used in traditional packaging methods may protect fresh fruits and vegetables against external factors at a protect certain level. Appropriate packaging materials and advanced packaging system need to be developed to reduce post-harvest losses and increase the shelf life of fresh fruits and vegetables. What is the importance of post-harvesting handling in agricultural crops? The aims of post-harvest handling of locally grown produce is to deliver quality produce to the consumer. Quality cannot be improved after harvesting. Therefore, it is important to harvest fruits and vegetables at the proper stages, size, and optimal quality. Number 2 question. Product need to be stored to improve commercial management. The best way to be store food is to store produce and reduce temperature to increase its shelf life. Don't slop produce. Pressure lock of airflow shorten fresh produce lifespan. Keep produce and wash in storage when you're ready to use fresh items. Make sure you wash your produce properly. Don't cut produce until you're ready to use it, and cut produce vulnerable to microorganisms. Storing or fresh produce where there is some airflow, not in airtight or containers or bags. This prevents them from suffocating and spoiling faster. Don't buy fresh 100 for in advance. Produce loses its skin flavor and crispiness when held at low temperature for extended time of period. Fruits and vegetable storage. It is best to store your fruit and vegetables separately. Most fruit release a lot of ethylene and most vegetables are sensitive to it. Learn how to store vegetable and fruits to meet categories unique needs. What is ethylene? Ethylene is a plant hormones that make seeds, bud sprouts, ripe fruits, and causes plant cells to break down. Plant release ethylene as a gas. Understanding ethylene helps you extend the shelf life of your fruit and vegetables. The first thing know is plants' ethylene production are sensitives, not a universal. The best way to improve customer services products, you can use posture feedback as a way of strengthening the value of a product. In commercial sales, focus on existing customers, innovation, and unique products. Cultivate value, build a customer approach, promotion, and marketing. Products have to be distributed to consumption areas both during and outside traditional harvest periods. Given the difficulty controlling this flow of products, the use of intermediate storage is an extremely valuable tool. This possibility is obviously highly variable depending on the fruit or vegetables. The keeping quality of each product results from a combination of two of its characteristics. The natural preservation, which corresponds the longevity after harvest of the vegetable's life. The effectiveness of appropriate techniques that can be used to slow down, prevent product to deterioration.
Product spoilage. Food spoilage or rotting is understood to mean any change that causes the food to lose its desired quality and to make it unfit for consumption. As soon as fruit and vegetable are separated from their natural source of nutritive substances, their quality starts to deteriorate. This is due to a natural process that begins when the biological cycle is interrupted by harvesting. The product is then consumable for only a limited time, ranging from few days to a few weeks, after which it starts to spoil or rot. Ito ay ang pagkasira ng produkto. Ang pagkasira o pagbulok ng pagkain ay nauunawaan na nangangahulugan ng anong pagbabago na nagiging sanhi ng pagkawala ng pagkain. Ninanais na kalidad at upang gawin itong hindi angkop para sa mga pagkonsumo. Sa sandaling prutas at ang gulay ay ihiwalay mula sa kanilang likas na pinagmulan ng pampalusog mga sangkap. Ang kanilang kalidad ay nagsisimula ng lumala. Ito ay dahil sa isang natural na proseso na nagsisimula kapag ang biological cycle ay nangambala sa pagitan ng pag-aani. Ang produkto ay pagkatapos ay consumable para sa limitadong oras lamang mula ilang araw hanggang ilang linggo. Pagkatapos ito ay magsisimula ng masira o mabulok. Physical, physiological, chemical, and enzymatic deterioration. Physical deterioration is caused first foremost by dehydration. Physiological aging occurs as soon as the biological cycle is interrupted by the harvest. The physiological function of the organ is still on the plant do not stop at harvest but are considerably altered. Ang pagkasira ng physical, psychological, chemical at enzymatic, ang physical na pagkasira ay sanhi ng una at pangunahin sa pamamagitan ng pag-alis ng tubig. Psychological, nangyayari ang pagtanda sa sandaling maputol ang biological cycle ng pag-aani. Ang mga physiological na pag-andar ng organ na nasa halaman ay hindi tumitigil sa pag-aani, ngunit malaki ang pagbabago. Chemical and enzymatic deterioration occur mainly when the fruit and vegetable are damaged upon falling or breaking, or due to cold. This releases enzymes that trigger chemical reactions. Tomatoes soften, for example, and other types of fruit turn brown. Pangunahin daw nangyayari ang mga pagkasira ng chemical at enzymatic kapag ang mga prutas at gulay ay nasira kapag ito ay nahulog o nabasag o dahil sa lamig. Naglalabas ito ng mga enzyme na nag-trigger mga reaksyong chemical. Lumalambot ang mga kamatis at iba pa. Halimbawa, ibang uri ng prutas ay nagiging kulay kayumanggi. Ito ay panimula ng pagkasira ng prutas at gulay. Transpiration. Transpiration is a loss of water through evaporation. Depends on the one hand, the organ's morphological characteristics, in particular the structure of epidermis and of the surface in contact with the air. The difference in temperature between the air and the product, humidity, and whether the ambient air is still or in motion. Ang transpiration daw ay isang pagkawala ng tubig sa pamamagitan ng evaporation. Depende sa isang banda sa mga morphological na katangian ng organ, sa particular ang struktura ng epidermis at ang ibabaw na nakikipag-ugnay sa hangin. Sa pagkakaiba ng temperatura sa pagitan ng hangin at ng produkto, at kung ang paligid ng hangin ay siya pa rin o gumagalaw. Respiration. Respiration is a cycle of complex biochemical reaction that is manifested principally in a loss of substrate, sugar acid, burn to supply energy to the tissues. It absorbs oxygen, emits carbon dioxide, and releases heat that must be removed through cooling. Sugar plus oxygen equals water. Carbon dioxide plus heat. Ang paghinga ay isang cycle na komplikadong biochemical. Biochemical reaction na ipinapakita higit sa lahat sa pagkawala ng substrate. asukal acid na nasunog upang magbigay ng enerhiya sa mga tissue. Ito ay sumisipsip ng oxygen, naglalabas ng carbon dioxide at naglalabas ito ng init na dapat inalis sa pamamagitan ng paglamig. Product changes. The metabolism of plant tissues is a set of chemical reactions that characterize a living organism, which are the source of the changes observed during plant's life and continue after harvest. The maturation of fruits and vegetables result from a complex set of reaction and biochemical and physiological changes that accelerate their development. It leads to the state of full maturity and gives the fruits its organoleptic characteristic. Ang mga pagbabago sa produkto. Ang mga metabolismo ng mga tissue ng halaman ay isang hanay ng mga reaksyong kemikal na nagpapakilala sa mga buhay na organismo na siyang pinagmumulan ng mga pagbabagong naobserbahan sa ang mga pagkahinog ng prutas at gulay ay resulta ng isang komplikadong hanay ng mga reaksyon at mga pagbabagong biochemical at physiological na nagpapabilis sa kanilang pag-unlad. Ito ay humahantong sa estado ng buong kapanahunan at nagbibigay sa prutas ang organoleptic na katangian. Deterioration due to insects, rodents and pathogens. Insect and rodents cause a great deal of damage, not only by eating away but also by transmitting microorganisms found on their hairs or in their excrement. The damaged part of plants are particularly sensitive to infection from bacteria or mold. Ang pagkasira daw ay dahil sa mga insekto, rodent at pathogens. Ang mga insekto at rodent ay nagdudulot ng malaking pinsala sa mga halaman, hindi lamang sa pamamagitan ng pagkain ng mga ani, ngunit gayon paman sa pagitan ng pagpapadala ng mga microorganism na matatagpuan sa kanilang mga buhok o sa kanilang mga dumi. Ang mga nasirang bahagi ng halaman o gulay ay particular na sensitibo sa mga infection mula sa bakterya o amag. Deterioration due to production, harvest, transport and storage condition, cultivation condition are key in terms of microbial flora present upon harvest of the product. Exposed surface are contaminated by soil, water, air, wastewater, animal, insect, and then by contact with harvesting equipment. Pre-harvest colonization is usually the main cause of post-harvest rot. Ang pagkasira daw ay dahil sa mga kondisyon ng produksyon. Ang pag-aani, transportasyon at imbakan, ang mga kondisyon ng paglilinang ay susi ng mga tuntunin na microbial flora na naroroon sa pag-aani ng produkto.
Temperature and humidity on deterioration. Knowing the ideal temperature and humidity conditions for each product is critical for the stability of sociological and organoleptic qualities. Temperature and relative humidity controls must consequently be optimized. However, while high humidity, often over 95%, must be maintained, the dew point must not be exceeded, since this could produce condensation and dampen the stored materials, allowing bacteria to thrive. Fruit and vegetable shelf life is greatly increased by sophisticated storage installations that enable accurate temperature and humidity control. The optimal temperature for storing most veggies is 0% degrees Celsius. The lower temperature, the longer the vegetables may be preserved. Low the metabolic activity of vegetables is low by high temperatures. The nutritional value of goods is also affected by temperature changes. Importance of ventilation. Ventilation is important because it helps to maintain a consistent temperature and relative humidity throughout the warehouse. Ventilation becomes increasingly important as the storage capacity grows, whether veggies are stored in bulk or boxes. Air must circulate not just around but also within the stocks. Throughout the storage period, good ventilation is required both at the beginning when the temperature of the harvested items is dropped and afterwards when the temperature has stabilized. It's important to remember that even at low temperatures, veggies continue to respire and produce heat. This heat must be eliminated in high relative humidity. Proper air circulation is also necessary to minimize condensation difficulties. Sociological compatibility of stored products. The same temperature, relative humidity, and level of ethylene in the storage environment must be tolerated by all products stored together. Products that emit a lot of ethylene, like ripe bananas, apples, and cantaloupes, can stimulate sociological changes in ethylene-sensitive products, like lettuce, cucumbers, carrots, potatoes, and sweet potatoes, and cause undesirable changes in color, taste, and textures. See the compatibility groups for storage of fruit and vegetables in annex to this chapter.
Conditions for alternation by microorganisms. Bacteria can live in hotter and colder temperature than humans, but they do is the best. A warm, moist, freezing, rich. Environment that is pH natural slightly acidic. Water for conditions the effect of microorganisms. Warmth, moisture, pH levels, and oxygen levels are the four big physical chemical factors. Affecting microbial growth in most buildings, warmth and moisture are biggest overall issues present. Dampness is a big player in the growth of fungi. Just like a living ending water essential to be life microbes, influence of cold on the development of microorganisms. The general effect of cold in microorganisms is diminish the rate of growth to bring it eventually to standstill to cause the death of proportions if not all of the components of a populations. What is the effect of development of microorganisms? Freezing temperature, scrub, spoiling effect, and microorganisms is food but can also preserve some pathogens and harm for long periods of time. While it kills some microorganisms by physical trauma, others are sublethally injured by freezing and may recover to become infections. Influence of water product of preservations. Water important of factors. No. Influence of water for preservation. Water is one of the important factors controlling the rate of deterioration of food by either microbial or non-microbial effects. Water activity is used for the preservation of food, stabilization of food supply, and developing different types of stable foods. What is the effect of water reservation foods? Heavy water activity above 0.95 and that will provide sufficient moisture to support the growth of bacteria species of mold. The amount of available moisture can be reduced to a point which will inhibit the growth of organisms. What is water activity and how important in determining food, spoilage, and preservation? How water activity works. Water activity, not one content, determines the lower limit of available water for microbial growth. The lowest can reach the majority of food spoilage bacteria will grow about 0.90. How is water activity related of water content of product? Moisture content defines the amount of water in your food and ingredients.